The ratings are in for this week's edition of AEW Dynamite, the 250th episode special on TBS. We also have the ratings for WWE NXT on Tuesday night. Also details on conflicting reports emerging about possible changes to AEW's broadcast partner Warner Bros. Discovery. NXT stars have been announced for the upcoming Slammiversary pay-per-view from TNA Wrestling, and AEW's Death Triangle is coming to CMLL. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about the ratings for this week's edition of AEW Dynamite. Considering it was the AEW Dynamite 250 special, many were wondering what the ratings would look like. Now, Wednesday was the 250th episode of AEW Dynamite, and AEW President Tony Khan stacked the card accordingly, most notably the first time ever match between top stars Maxwell Jacob Friedman and Will Ospreay, a match most wrestling fans expected to be saved for a grand stage like Wembley Stadium. If it had been, however, it could have hardly have been treated as a bigger event. MJF and Ospreay's Wednesday night opener came just 2 seconds short of lasting a full hour and ended with a shocking International Championship title change. It was an unmistakable gamble for Khan, and it appears to have paid off when it comes to the ratings. As first reported by Programming Insider as well as WrestleNomics, the July 19 Dynamite averaged 795,000 viewers, which is up 15% from last week's 691,000 and 24% from the trailing 4 weeks average of 640,000. It was the highest average viewership Dynamite has enjoyed since April 10, and it also did a big number in the key 18 to 49 age demographic, up to a 0.27, its highest number since June 5th, and the 7th highest number on cable in the demographic for the day, up against the Republican National Convention and coming off a recent stretch of barely beating or even occasionally losing to WWE NXT in the ratings. These numbers should be considered a victory for Khan as he continues to negotiate a new media rights deal with David Zaslav's Warner Bros. Discovery, though even this episode was significantly down from how Dynamite was performing at the same time last year. Now, in terms of the quarter-hour ratings, these come courtesy of WrestleNomics, so shout out to them and be sure to subscribe to their Patreon service. As you can see on the screen right there, certainly when it comes to the first hour, considerably above the average we have seen over the last 90 days. In terms of the quarter hours, according to WrestleNomics, while Wednesday's Dynamite technically followed its usual pattern of riding the popular leading The Big Bang Theory to a strong quarter-hour 1 and dropping off from there, the dip from quarter-hour 1 to quarter-hour 2 was only 42,000 viewers, significantly smaller than usual, and the hour-long opener actually picked up 12,000 viewers as it went on, with the finish of the match coming in the second highest quarter for overall viewership and the highest quarter in terms of the key demographic. Now, the numbers did drop steadily from there, with Dynamite losing 140,000 viewers between quarter-hour 5 and quarter-hour 8, bottoming out at 685,000 viewers during the 7-minute overrun. So considering that first hour is considerably above what the average has been over the last 90 days, do you think that the gamble to put MJF and Will Ospreay on free television first for an hour paid off for AEW? What's your reaction to those numbers? Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. Now, speaking of the ratings, let's talk about NXT. In recent weeks, NXT has been pretty strong in comparison to AEW Dynamite, and it was all smiles, sunshines, and roses for NXT 1 week ago when WWE's third brand, fresh off Heatwave and with Joe Hendry in tow, drew one of their strongest ratings of last month, especially in the 18 to 49 demographic. But with Hendry not around for this week's episode too much, of course he was on commentary, which also happened to be going up against the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, would NXT be able to hold their momentum? The answer was not quite. WrestleNomics is reporting that NXT drew 610,000 total viewers and a 0.20 in the 18 to 49. Both numbers were down from the previous week, as expected given the strong competition, with total viewership falling 7% from 656,000, while the 18 to 49 was down a slightly more 17% from a 0.24. Both numbers were down compared to the past 4 weeks as well, with total viewership sliding a mere 4% from 633,000, while the 18 to 49 fell 5% from a 0.21. Now, while some other things may have been a factor, the All-Star Game will receive most of the blame when it comes to NXT's small dip. The summertime staple, which aired on Fox, drew a strong 7.44 million viewers and a 1.58 in the 18 to 49, easily topping the night on both network TV and cable. Now, NXT relied on other TNA stars in the form of the Rascals, Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel, who teamed with former Rascal Wes Lee to take on Gallus in the show's opening bout. Of course, that's where Joe Hendry did appear on the show. The show was headlined by Obafemi, putting his NXT North American Championship on the line against Duke Hudson, with Femi picking up the victory for his 8th successful title defense. What are your thoughts when it comes to the rating for this week's NXT? Is that expected? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Now, speaking of AEW, we could see some changes on the horizon when it comes to Warner Brothers Discovery, as AEW continues negotiations with WBD about the future of the promotion's programming on the Turner networks. Conflicting reports have come out about WBD's interest in the television industry entirely. First, the Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer said on a recent Wrestling Observer Radio that WBD is looking to invest more in the television side of its business, despite the fact that the rest of the entertainment industry seems to be abandoning television for streaming. Quote, "They have made this decision. Our TV stations are making us money. Our streaming service Max is losing lots and lots of money. We're going to invest in TV," Meltzer explained, saying that WBD is pulling funding from the Max streaming platform and investing it into the TV product. However, a different report claims WBD is actually considering making a move in the opposite directions. According to the Financial Times, WBD is giving thought to split the company in two, with the television side taking on the massive debt held by the company's streaming platform. The idea behind the move would be to offload Max debt onto the more profitable TV sector so that Max and the movie studios under WBD's ownership can appear more profitable as a separate entity, giving it, quote, more flexibility to invest in growth. However, Financial Times was careful to note that the notion is still in the draft stages and that people close to the situation say WBD CEO David Zaslav is, quote, examining several strategic options, end quote. As a televised product, AEW would obviously benefit from the strategy Meltzer reported, though WBD's focus on streaming in the latter strategy would also be a benefit if WBD felt that the AEW product could help bolster Max. The news comes as WBD's initial hopes of merging with Paramount have deflated in the wake of the announcement of Paramount's merger with Skydance. So what are your thoughts regarding all of this? Do you think it's going to affect AEW that much? Let me know your reaction, your predictions in the comment section below. Now, we spoke about NXT and we had some NXT influence on Impact last night for TNA Wrestling and also this coming weekend at Slammiversary. TNA has announced 6 new matches for Saturday's Slammiversary and Countdown to Slammiversary, including one featuring WWE NXT talent. NXT's Wes Lee will reunite with the Rascals once again in the ring on Saturday's Slammiversary pay-per-view as Lee, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz face NXT's No Quarter Catch Crew trio of Charlie Dempsey, Miles Bourne and Tavon Heights. Lee, Wentz and Miguel also teamed this week on WWE NXT. Now, last night on Impact, we saw, again, an NXT influence. The No Quarter Catch Crew, Charlie Dempsey, Tavon Heights and Miles Bourne, were on one side of the match while the Rascals were on the other, kind of, sort of. While TNA stars Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz were teaming, their third member was actually Kushida rather than Wes Lee. The recently reunited Rascals, of course, is the collective trio name of MSK, Wes Lee from NXT and Zachary Wentz from TNA, and Trey Miguel. It was the No Quarter Catch Crew who picked up the victory in last night's match against Wentz, Miguel and Kushida. However, as I mentioned, the Rascals will be back in full strength this coming weekend at Slammiversary. Now, as far as other surprises, well, Jordynne Grace, she's been a key player in this crossover, with the TNA Knockouts World Champion making a surprise appearance at January's Royal Rumble pay-per-view and challenging for the NXT Women's Championship at NXT Battleground. Grace has faced NXT stars on home soil too, defending her gold against Tatum Paxley at Against All Odds and Izzy Dame on the July 11 episode of Impact. Speaking with Justin Barrasso for Sports Illustrated, Jordynne Grace hinted that there are surprises bigger than people realize planned for Slammiversary. Ahead of Saturday's event, Grace stated, quote, "The surprises are going to be even bigger than people realize. TNA and NXT do surprises better than any other promotion. I don't think anyone can argue that. If you're tired of accidentally reading spoilers, watch Slammiversary. Our goal is to make fans fall back in love with wrestling." Now, Grace is slated to defend her Knockouts Championship against former WWE star Ash by Elegance, Dana Brooke, at Slammiversary. But what surprises do you think will happen this weekend? Let me know your thoughts about that one too. And finally, Death Triangle are on their way to CMLL. Almost a year into their partnership with AEW, CMLL has reaped plenty of benefits. The oldest promotion in wrestling has seen stars such as Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Bryan Danielson, Willow Nightingale and Kyle Fletcher make the trek down to Arena Mexico, where Fletcher dropped his Ring of Honor TV title to Atlantis Jr. and will host Chris Jericho this September. Meanwhile, CMLL stars like Hechicero, Mystico, Volador Jr. and others have been spotlighted on AEW TV. Now it appears time for some of AEW's own Lucha Libre talent to strut their stuff in Lucha Libre's cathedral. Last night on CMLL Informer, a video that was later posted to X, CMLL announced that AEW stars Penta El Zero Miedo and Rey Fenix, aka the Lucha Brothers, would be returning to the promotion next Friday on July 26th, but they won't be coming alone either, as the duo's Death Triangle stablemate, Pac, will also be by their sides. No match has been announced for the group as of now, though the trio will be a part of the big show, as July 26th will see the crowning of the winner of a big tournament, one of the biggest tournaments that CMLL holds. While this will be the first time Pac has ever competed in a CMLL ring, and his first match ever for a Mexican promotion, Arena Mexico will be familiar ground for the Lucha Brothers. Though Phoenix and Penta have primarily worked for AAA in Mexico during their careers, the duo did compete briefly for CMLL from mid-2018 through 2019. Their return to the promotion was teased during Forbidden Door season when they teamed with CMLL star Mystico, who later invited the duo to return to Arena Mexico to compete, possibly even against him. So certainly we'll have to wait and see how that one plays out in the future. But big up, guys. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.